Hello, YouTube! I'm Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Reacts to Splatterface Season 3, Round 1. So in our first episode of this, we got a peek at all the fighters, and we also saw how they were going to be sorted out, who versus who in the first round. And I made my predictions in our last episode of who was going to go forward, who was not, and how they would generally fare. Now, some of that is going to be determined by the arena that they are given, and we didn't know what the arena assignments were at that time, but we are going to now. Krug Smash has released the full first round video. This has all of the matches in it. So we are going to be reacting to them, taking a look at them, and seeing if my predictions hold true, or see how right I got them, and also see who got what arena, because I think that's really going to impact who makes it forward. Right, without any ado, let's do it. Alright, I'm liking the crowd scenes they got here.
My bearded bastards, I do hope you've had luck in appropriately girding your loins, but today I bring good news. The time has come to ungird, as now we stand at the threshold of glory.
Hey, there's a raccoon in the audience!
Savage the harpy and her gnashing teeth and slashing talons versus the frightening foreplay in her...
So in my original analysis, I gave this to Kata. And being that this looks like they're in the stock standard arena, I still give it to Kata.
Quartet of devilish daggers. In bout 2, we have the brutish, barbaric Mulmerian Pinky and his steely blade versus the silent underground huntress and her deadly bow, Jangles.
Holding my holding my judgment on this one until we know what arena they're in.
For about 3, it's the seasoned hunter of the underground, Carnivore, the reptile woman, versus the desert-toughened caravan guard, Fury, the Gila monster woman.
Fury, but by a narrow margin, it could very easily go to Carnivore.
In bout 4, it's the murderous menace with her flailing arms, Quigga the Reacher, versus the skilled warrior armed in iron and garbed in green, Grin the Goblin.
Quigga.
In bout 5, it's the mythic mercenary known as the Eye of Bloodcastle and his brutal axe, versus the pike-wielding palace guard and his shining azure rump, Blue Bottom, the
Blue Bottom
Mandrill Man. And rounding it off in bout 6, we have a halberd-wielding veteran of the deep undergrottos, Radduck the Gorlak, versus a near-literal mountain of fur, tusks, and horns, it's Wump, and
the Gorlak.
Her trunk-like club. And do not forget, my friends, this year the path to the top won't be quite as easy for these contenders, no. For you see, before each bout, one of the 6 arenas will be chosen for the duel, and will undoubtedly have some thrilling effects on the fighting. Now then, what do you say, my bearded bastards? Have I talked enough yet? Are you
Show us the arenas!
Glory? Ooh, one of my favorites. It looks like round 1 will take
Beast
place
Arena.
in the Beast Ring.
Oh, even more for the Harpy. Because the Harpy can stay out of range and the Beast will go mano a mano with their feet.
Roaming the far caverns, a green devourer. Ooh, that's a gross one, isn't it? No doubt this bulky brute and its snapping set of jaws will liven things up a bit, eh? Careful out there, fighters. And yes, as for our fighters...
I wonder, and here's my theory, if the Beast kills both of them, the Beast will move on. That's not, they didn't officially say that?
The thing that we picked up in the caves, foreplay. The Manara.
Alright.
I'm gonna shoot you straight here. Both of this bout's contestants creep me the hell out. An awful lot. And you might be inclined to focus on the 4-armed head thing over there, but Kata is some sort of awful in her own right. Originally found deep in the Nokololum forest, Kata and her shrieking coven have given the Splatterface woods dwarves out there quite a difficult time a few years back. But as you can see, eventually we were able to deal with them, of course. Except for this one here, which has been locked away in our dungeon for... oh, what's it been? 3-4 years. It's quite some time. Since then, we've intermittently caught Kata here attempting to gather bits of trash that drifts too near to her cage, where she's found drawing strange runes in the dust, muttering dark words under her breath. Personally, I think she's messing with us, pretending she's some sort of necromancer or something. When you get down to it, I'm pretty glad to finally get a chance to get rid of her. But I suppose we will see if that comes to pass or not. And of course, speaking of things,
they give the fighters some backstories, but they're only revealed in bits and pieces as they move on.
Dungeon. You know, it's a good thing we haven't cleaned that place out in a while. We're a bit hard up for contestants this year, so we have foreplay down there. She can't talk, okay? She can't. But she's been, like, breathing in word-like rhythm sometimes, which I'm sure doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like a gaspy sound. It's horrible. I'm pretty sure she's trying to just copy the dwarven jailers who feed her. That's how we kind of caught on that she might be intelligent. So she ended up with daggers and armor.
Make it. I really hope this one does not move on. I do not want to see more faces like that.
Horrid everything. Well, I'll tell you what, if she becomes champion, we're not doing Splatterface again. That's going to be it. To both you horrible creatures and the Green Devourer, too.
Yeah, not a good look if she somehow becomes champion.
Further delay, let the first bout of Splatterface commence. Okay, straight from the start, Kata is up and swooping in at the Devourer. Oh, there's those talons. She is snatching away at the brute, who seems to be having a hard time doing much of anything. The fighting para have shifted over to the seemingly sluggish Manara, and now all three are fighting. Oh, but not for long. One of the brute's tentacles have been slashed away. The Devourer goes down, and now it's Kata and foreplay.
So much for the beast.
Still snatching away with those talent. Oh, she fakes out foreplay and goes in for a bite. Oh, she latches on firmly and begins to shake. Foreplay is not looking good out there. Kata releases foreplay, and she's snatching again, biting. Oh, and there goes the Manara's teeth.
Oh, jeez.
Out by Kata.
All those little things out there are the teeth that got
Manara,
scattered.
What are you doing out there, foreplay? Lots of blood splattering out of that horrible spider monster. It's kicking around, punching around, and that's gonna seal it right there. Foreplay is down, and now we begin our timer.
As suspected, the flyer wins.
And
so 1 out of 1 predictions correct.
The harpy in there. Well, I sure hope so, because here we go right into bout 2. Oh, but first, of course, we'll have to choose an arena for Big Pinky and the jangling fun gal to battle in.
Anything but the waterfall. Okay.
And it looks like
I think Pinky can survive this one.
It's gonna be a hot time out there for sure. Watch your step before you get caught in a steamy lava fair. And now for our fighters. On one side we have the underground marcher, our bow-wielding archer, Jangles.
So, yeah, Jangles has a little bit of an advantage here because, Pinky has to go around the lava, but it's not as bad as the waterfall arena. That would have been like an instant win.
Now that's a sight indeed. It's been long requested that we have a plump helmet person here in Splatterface, since our first year actually, so it's good to finally see her here, even though we don't really know too much about her. Other than what she's written, of course.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Those eyes and that face was just a helmet.
She might have a bit of a shady past. Jangles here has been exiled from her group, which is certainly bizarre. What injustice could a plump helmet person even commit? Does her punishment fit? Well, it may have worked out well for you, my friend, as now you've landed here. I
still want to know if those chains are actually weapons. Like if someone closes to melee, can she chain whip someone? Because that could make her deadly even if someone closes to melee with her.
Large and seems to enjoy his roots and tubers. As I've mentioned, Mulmarians aren't known for their intelligence. They have no society to speak of. But this one here seems like a real smart fella.
As long as he knows not to go charging through the lava and go in a straight line.
He is now wielding a shining steel blade like a big, strong boy. I hate to be personally invested with our fighters, but this big guy here has begun to grow on me. Probably should have given him a bit more armor, but I'm sure he'll be fine out there. Look at those muscles, folks. Yeah, he's got things under control.
Yeah, big and poorly armored. I'm going against my own advice, rooting for him, but I'm a little biased.
Let the second bout of Splatterface commence.
Come on, Pinky.
And right off the bat, an arrow is sent flying by Jangles,
but it misses.
Miss as Pinky comes galloping and leaping over the corner of the magma pit.
All right, well, as long as he knows to leap.
They're coming in. Another arrow is loosed.
And misses. Okay, there goes the archer's advantage.
but those blows are being deflected by Jangle's armor. Jangles is getting backed up into a corner as Pinky drives on.
Ooh, and...
Oh, an arrow strikes Pinky right in the chest, going deep. But that's not stopping.
Well, wasn't a kill shot.
Slashing away. Between the deflections and the dodging, Jangles is completely unharmed, even now. Ooh, and another arrow.
Jangles has a lot of defense.
Just as a
oh, push her into the lava. Oh!
Jangles has a misstep and tumbles into the dear. Yeah, we could see the smoke billowing up and out of the pit there as the poor mushroom silently burns.
So...
Oh boy, looks like Pinky is hanging in there even after taking those arrows. Which is
so
good
much.
You have some waiting to do there, Mole. The timer only begins after your opponent falls, which certainly seems to be taking a while. And... yep, there we go.
Alright, about to say, no amount of defense is going to protect you from lava.
So let's get that timer a-striking.
Hopefully Pinky doesn't die from that chest wound. I don't think it said it hit his heart.
And there we have it, the winner of
Alright,
2
for 2! 2 for 2. I mean, honestly, I was really nervous there.
Plugged up and soon you'll be good to go before you know.
I was really nervous there because of how much defense the archer had, but it looks like the arena was the deciding factor, but not in the archer's favor.
Even if you'll only be around a short while longer. While your skills.
Because yeah, that was a lot of armor and a lot of defense.
Successfully get your fort breaking, and so let's get to it. We'll be seeing Carnivore versus Fury this time around.
Alright, Carnivore and Fury, what's the arena? The Archer Arena.
Oh, and it looks like it's the Archer's trial for them.
This probably gives a little bit of an edge to Fury.
We have a competently trained Beaverman Archer. Our fighters in this round will have to deal with a barrage of poorly fired arrows while fighting for their lives.
It's wooden arrows, so it's not as deadly, but it's still annoying. It's more of a ranged harassment.
One side clad in scales of green and iron.
They're both pretty well armored, though, so unless the arrow gets like, you know, a critical shot in an eyeball or something.
Armed with her mace and armored completely. It's Fury.
The fact that Fury is armored head to toe.
And her crew have been pestering us consistently since last year's Splatterface. Turns out the reptiles caught wind of our arena and liked the sound of it quite a bit. That's right. Carnivore here seems to be under the impression that... one moment. It looks like she's removing her helmet.
Dwarves of Splatterface.
Ooh, voice acting.
Look upon your champion and cheer. The puny lizard across the ring doesn't stand up. Why are you laughing?
The heck?
Stop.
Why is there even those big eye holes in your helmet?
My forehead gets hot.
Oh, weird. Well, there we have her, the beady-eyed brute Carnivore.
Shut up!
Let's just hope her forehead doesn't get too hot out there, huh?
Shut up!
Good luck, reptile.
Though the fact that they're giving her a voice might mean that she might come out on head.
Generally diminutive reptile, Fury.
I'm still rooting for Fury.
I'm very surprised to see how well Fury here is doing in the polls, frankly. She's currently sitting at an impressive number 2 in audience votes for who will win this year. Now, I think she stands a decent chance because of all her armor, but normally you miserable bastards out there are pretty quick to downplay a fighter due to something like size. Just an observation.
No, we're not. What are you talking about?
Fun fact, Gila monsters are venomous. Thought that was pretty neat.
Yes.
I don't believe it'll be that dangerous out there, not like Rattleback's venom in year 1 anyways, but...
Well, Rattleback didn't have a chance to use his venom.
Anyways, I'm rambling here. Let's cut it. Little Caravan Guard, I wish you the best out there. And now, without any further
rambling...
Alright,
Fury, come on, let's do it!
This here's Splatterface. Commence. And we start the bout with another arrow that Carnivore deftly bats away as she runs.
Yeah, they're both armored enough.
Roost. Fury's turning around and runs in to engage, and the dance begins. Both combatants are trading blows, dodging. A clumsy arrow flies by just as Fury lands a hit on Carnivore's hand.
Nice.
Quick trading of blows here.
Ooh, on the hand. That's either means
other hand just before
either sword or shield is out of commission.
A bit of a disadvantage here now as the fight drives on. Oh, and Carnivore gets another good knock on her head that sends her reeling. Oh boy, Carnivore is down, and Fury continues her onslaught of mace strikes.
And mace strikes against armor.
On the reptile's head and weird tiny eyes. Striking. Man, I don't know if Carnivore can even get up at this point. Also, it is absolutely amazing that that Beaverman archer down there has not hit a single time yet. And a couple hits in and doesn't even have eyes. We'll have to vet these archers better in the future, I suppose. Oh, and there we go. After a series of strikes, Carnivore has been bested.
All right,
Now
3 for 3.
That archer doesn't
3
get a hit now,
for
eh?
3. Does he take another shot while the counter's going? No, he doesn't. Okay, good.
And there we go. Luckily, it looks like our Beaverman archer ran out of arrows right before the timer began, and so Fury comes out of bout 3 totally unscathed and, more importantly, victorious. Hey, that goes to show you right there how far some armor and skilled strikes can go, eh? Good job disarming your...
Grin? What's the arena?
Ah, yes. It looks like they'll be taking the classic
vanilla
Splatterface
one.
ring today.
Interesting.
Just wonderful. We'll get to see these
This
two
is
fighters
probably going to be a longer
without any
fight.
distractions at all. Lucky gladiators indeed. Yep, and once again in bout 4 we're going to have that long-limbed reacher with terrible features, Quigga, and her wild flails. And across the way there's a goblin so spry with a glint in her eye, Grin, and her slicing blade. Quigga, Quigga, Quigga. You know, one might be inclined to think you're just as creepy as that Manora.
No, Quigga is not as creepy as the Manora.
Of your jib, my friend. Quigga here wants to crush and kill with those awful flails of hers. And it's exactly that sort of motivation that really gets me a-going. You know, you see those everyday fighters with the glazed expressions and the stink of lollygaggery, but Quigga here is a bit different, I say. She's got a vicious glint in her beady eyes.
I wonder if they are trying to reflect that there's some different in the personality, which might make them more aggressive or more prone to going into a rage.
Extremely formidable foe. Grin the Goblin, I reiterate, is a trained fighter from the Tower of Maggots, which does not bode well for Quigga. Also, if we want to talk about blood-hungry eye glintings and desire for death, well, Grin is not an opponent to be scoffed at.
Yeah, Grin's not going to be a pushover. If this goes long enough, then Quigga might not make it. This might be my first incorrect prediction.
To get them fighting at their prime.
I was actually kind of hoping for a dangerous arena, because that would have disadvantaged Grin.
Maybe they're seeking to redeem their fallen comrade from last year, huh? Thogslock.
Yeah, Thogslock. That was brutal.
Thogslock ended up putting on an embarrassing display. Wasn't it silly? Truly something to be mocked. But you two are not going to be able to redeem him by fighting me. You're out of luck this year because I am not getting into that ring. Most likely. We'll see what happens, I don't know. Anyways, the time for chatter has stopped. And now comes the time for blood.
Alright, let's see, make it happen.
Splatterface commence. They're off. The goblin sprinting right in while the Reacher hangs back.
Interesting. You'd think the Reacher would go
together. Blade and flails flying. Very quick, very
Alright, so that shield...
Trading blows, parrying.
Yeah, that shield is doing work here.
While Grin is, well, just about the same. Yes, these two are very...
Yeah, this is going to be a long fight. I knew it.
That is some seriously tense stuff.
They have not spilled any blood yet.
Small hit to Quag's arm there, not much. Oh, and Quag drops a flail, and there go her legs.
Ooh.
Both legs are deftly swiped away by Grin, and there's the other flail too, adding insult to grievous injury. Stabbing, slicing, that beastly goblin is turning Quagga into a veritable puddle at this point.
Okay,
yeah, there we go. Quagga the Reacher falls with no injury.
All right, 3 out of 4
here, but for tradition's sake.
I knew I should have gone with Grin. I was hoping that those flails could somehow punch through the armor, but no, not so much.
I must say, Goblin, you did very well out there. Waiting for just the perfect time to strike like that. Truly remarkable. I suppose I knew you'd be quite a contender this year, but this might well prove it, eh? Also proves that I will not be getting in the ring with you at all. Oh, stop booing. Just imagine if I did have to face Grin out there after she made it all the way to the top. She'd have our next bout. Let's get to it. Well, let's see. In bout 5, we'll see the Eye of Blood Castle going against Blue Bottom, the Mandrill Man. And with just 2 arenas left, let's see what they get.
Oh, the Wildcard arena.
Wildcard ring. Wonderful. And we have, in fact, decided...
Yeah, what is going to be the Wildcard?
And definitely aren't just now throwing something together. That would be terribly irresponsible of us, huh? What is it? It's a... What? Shark?
Oh, eye shrieking sound.
Yeah, but like... Oh, there's water in there too. Okay. Today our fighters will be facing a devastating torrent of water that will be rushing in from... Where's it coming from? The ceiling. And where are the sharks coming? They're up there too. Okay. Water rushing in from the ceiling. And with it, I guess there's some sharks as well. Those fighters are going to have to work quick before that water overtakes them. Water and sharks overtake them. Should be interesting.
Oh, God.
Into the ring now, and yeah, there they are. On one side, we could see that burly human and that bastard of a blade, the Eye of Blood Castle. And across from him, blue-bottomed blur with a magnificent fur. Blue Bottom, the Mandrill.
Yeah, I still give this to Mandrill. The Mandrill, even with the wild card and the water and the sharks.
The championship this year, which has caught me a bit off guard. Sure, he's capable, and he does have that axe. Also has a size advantage, of course. But the guy just does not have that much armor, and no shield either.
Yeah.
It spooks me a bit. Really, he doesn't look that much different to me than Pinky, the Mulmarian, who is both bigger and also is the absolute last in the polls. Looking at the polls, I don't think you bearded bastards out there have any clue what to think of our contenders this year, which I love an awful lot. Keeping you on your toes here in Splatterface, eh? Gotta reiterate, too, that the Eye is not a Cyclops. I've mentioned it several times now, but some of you guys...
Yeah, he's a regular human.
Say, oh, he's a Cyclops. He's not. He's a human, okay? It's a helmet. Just an extra bit of clarification out there for some of you thick-skulled dwarves. Regardless, one eye or two, good luck out there to you, human. And then over across the ring, we have the Mandrill Man and his gleaming rump. Like, I get it's your calling card, but you'd think you'd want to cover the ass up a bit when you're going to be fighting in the ring, eh? I don't know, just...
That's true, that is a weak spot.
Yeah, never mind, he's waving me off. Gotta love that confidence there. Note that pike of his, people. A very daunting weapon, to be sure, but I don't know if it's going to offset his size difficulty and lack of shield. Hard to say, I suppose. Hey, Mandrill, let's hope that gleaming posterior doesn't make you inferior, eh? He's waving me off again. Wonderful. Confidence, love it. And with that, it's time to get this show rolling, don't you think?
Let's...
The fifth bout of this year's Splatterface.
If a shark moves on, I'm gonna be laughing.
There they go quickly as the water comes crashing down, I think. Oh, and we already have an axe strike to Blue's arm. Not a big hit, though it's bleeding badly. Still waiting on that water as the pair engage in a series of furious strikes.
Yeah, the water might not factor into anything.
Here. He's getting absolutely hammered by those
A
blows.
shark drops in opposite of those blue squiggles of the water.
Sloshing down all around our fighters. You can see the sharks falling to the still dry arena floor as the blows continue raining down on the Mandrill. I don't know how he could even score a hit with a pike at this range, but he's trying.
That is true.
Oh, and never mind, the pike falls away. We have a brutal hit there. But the Manic Monkey Man has managed to maintain his stance under the Eye's sustained fury, all as the water continues rushing in. Blue Bottom is striking still, having a much easier time at it seemingly, but how long can his armor hold out against those strikes? Oh, not long at all.
Ooh!
A brutal strike of the Eye's axe sends Blue Bottom's head tumbling across the arena floor.
Okay, 3 for 5.
That's gonna do it right there.
I did not think the Eye was gonna do it.
Let's see it.
Is the water even going to make it to...
There we have it. The winner of bout 5
is he fighting the sharks?
Castle, who continues his bout by...
Yeah, he's fighting the sharks!
That was just showboating. My goodness. Well, we'll get a fish guy out there to fish the guy out before it gets too deep, I hope. Carnivore the merman is on the task. Stellar show out there, really showed us that maybe some skill and strength can go a lot farther than some clunky armor, eh? With this victory, your legend continues to grow, and your castle of blood grows more legendary. Funny and final bout of this round.
All right, last one, Waterfall Map.
Treacherous ring in round 1's repertoire. Radduck the Gorlak and Wump the Troll will be facing off on the dreaded Waterfall Bridge.
Yeah, I'm still going for the Gorlak here.
To cascade down around them, filling the reservoir below, and a single missed step will send them tumbling down.
I mean, really though, anyone who gets knocked to the side.
And as for our fighters on one end of the bridge, we see that stalwart Gorlak guard armed with his oh so deadly halberd, Radduck. And facing him, across the bridge, there's that shambling shaggy Goliath armed with a maul, and she's ready to brawl.
You get one golf club hit with that maul, and the Gorlak is not long for this world either. So
after all, who doesn't
I
like
might be 3 for 6.
Peach-faced lovebird meat roast. Real great conversationalist and just a fun fellow altogether. And stories, let me tell you, the guy has them. As you could imagine, the guy has seen an awful lot in his years as an underground guide. Blind cave ogres, seas of crundles, and forgotten beasts of all kinds. Yes, Radduck here has an astonishing resume. Of course, he could be lying, I suppose. Never can be too sure when you have people showing up at your door telling stories. But I suppose if the guy isn't just some tale teller, then another underground beast might be in for some trouble today. Wump the troll, down at the other end of the bridge, was surprisingly at the very bottom of polls for quite a while, but has since climbed to 3rd place. Another big surprise from the polls this year. Normally fighters don't jump up so far from their initial standing, but I could see why you guys would change your minds about her. The size factor is just too much to ignore with Wump. She is a stunning 4 times the size of a dwarf. But keep in mind, she's a whopping 5 times bigger than a Gorlak. Of course, the size, skill, armor, these speculations aren't going to mean much if somebody takes a tumble, which is very likely to be the case today. Remember that. Careful out there, you two. Arena team, get ready with that water. A little quicker this time too, eh? And with that, let the 6th and final bout of round 1 commence. And there's
the water.
Down the treacherous bridge as the water comes crashing down. Ooh, that troll's really got some speed on her as she crashes into the Gorlak, who... Radduck stumbles. He tried to hold on there, but fell off the side into the waterfall.
He dodged.
Wump does a little jump there to get a better view. And folks, it looks like Wump goes down as well. Wump dives off the bridge, and both fighters are
interesting.
In the mud and deepening water. Oh, and they get right to it, too. Wump lumbers in, slamming...
So it's actually going to be a real fight. Okay,
again,
good.
And again. Ooh, a minor hit there on Radduck's arm. A close call. Radduck recovers and stabs with his halberd, but the attack glances away. Wump has a serious fury in her down there. How can that maul of hers even move so fast? Radduck takes another couple of hits, glancing blows.
All right, this is a pretty well...
hit to Wump, spilling her greenish blood. Radduck takes another hit to the head, rattling his skull, and pays back the shot by nicking away one of the troll's tusks. The two continue to fight while the water begins to overcome. The troll takes a couple more minor hits there and continues to circle, trying to find a way to crush this ball of metal. Owning up to her name, Wump keeps on the attack, leveling some crushing blows.
I was about to say, that's an interesting crushing attack right there.
But you're going to have to make some more decisive hits in that, Radduck. Wump is still on the attack, charging, pushing Radduck back as he struggles to make a good hit. Oh, and a hit to Wump's foot twists her leg and sends her sprawling. Wump is down, and she's not out yet. She's swinging away, deflecting that halberd. Radduck gets another hit in, and... oh, that's not looking good for Wump, as he bites her eyelid.
And
he stabs at Wump's leg and clearly breaks the bone. Wump gives into the pain, and... oh, that's going to finish things off in Radduck's clear favor there. His halberd devastates the troll's head, blasting it into meaty shards.
Oh, wow, now that was...
Don't be so hasty now. That timer still has to go off.
All right, come on.
You know how to swim, Radduck.
Just move to ground. The water's not that deep yet.
And there we have it. The winner of Bout 6 is Radduck the Gorlak. Ooh, boy. Radduck, that was an amazing show out there. One we will not soon
All right,
forget.
4 for 6 on my predictions. Better than a coin flip.
You have proven today that your skills are nothing to laugh at.
That's
double goals for your fabulous armor and halberd. Gotta say, I am shocked at how well that helmet there held up against that tree trunk of a club.
I was about to say, I would have thought that would have been, you would have been popped at that
strike. Of course, we have to applaud that thick skull of yours too, I think, huh? You should probably watch your step in the coming matches, my friend. I hope you realize how close you came to failure out there. If Wump had only stayed up on the bridge, then you'd be bubbling around underwater right now. Goes to show you, folks, hubris without discipline is the mortal foe to all skilled warriors.
All right, folks, so that was round 1. Quite good, and I think I did pretty well. Let's see if we know who the pairings are next round.
Which brings us to see Kata the Harpy versus Pinky the Mulmarian.
Okay, Kata versus Pinky. I gotta give this to Kata. Pinky is not armored enough to stand up to her bites and scratches, and she's got the flight advantage. Kata gets that round.
Followed by Fury, the Gila Monster Woman versus Grin the Goblin.
This fight's gonna take freaking forever. It's gonna take forever. I'm gonna give it to Fury because she is completely armored and has bludgeoning weaponry. But the fight is gonna take freaking forever.
And finally, the Eye of Blood Castle versus Radduck, the Gorlak.
Well, given the Gorlak's fight against Wump, and the fact that they can take the heavy hits, I'm going to give it to the Gorlak. I'm definitely going to give it to the Gorlak.
And you know what? We've had a pretty crazy year already.
All right. Well, you got my predictions. We'll see how accurate they are. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, don't forget to check out Krug Smash. I cut out lots of parts of this, so watch his video if you want to see the whole thing start to finish, uncut and without me yapping over it. So until next time, Pinstar out.